Welcome back to the Cabral HouseCall. I'm Stephen Cabral, board-certified naturopathic doctor, and today on this Weight Loss Wednesday, we're taking your questions after just going through an episode on how bloating and water retention can actually make the body look more puffy, more swollen, and softer, and not give you that lean, defined look. And a lot of people mistake that for excess body fat. And yes, excess body fat can be there, but never discount that you could be holding 5 to 10 pounds of inflammatory toxic water weight that your body is never meant to be holding. And that doesn't mean you're going to get dehydrated from it, but it could be holding that because of this low-level systemic-based inflammation. Definitely tune into that episode if you did not check it out already. All right, so today on our Weight Loss Wednesday, our first question today is from Paige L. All right, interesting question. She's asking, I suspect bananas are making me bloated. Is that even possible? So it's a great question. A lot of people don't believe that fruit or natural foods could be making them bloated. And I like this question. One is because any food, you could be sensitive to literally any food. Any food could be making you bloated. Now, there are foods that are more hypoallergenic, like rice is typically considered more hypoallergenic. So there are certain foods like that. However, fruit could be making you bloated for multiple reasons. One is you could be combining it improperly during your meals, meaning like you might be eating fruit with nuts, or you might be eating fruit with meats, or you might be eating fruit after a meal. And that's not the time that you do want to have it, because fruit, as I've explained before, gets digested very, very quickly. And so what I would say to that is that you need to make sure that it passes through your stomach before it can get held up by other foods that are there. So that is a big, big principle that we're talking about. So that's one reason. The other reason is the fructose or fructans in the fruit could also be feeding yeast, could be feeding bacteria, and that is then allowed to ferment, which is then allowed to essentially cause gas and bloating. And so that's a second reason why fruit or bananas could be causing this bloating as well. I do have to say, though, that bananas themselves are not a higher FODMAP food, not one that typically causes as much bloating. However, it can be a higher histamine liberator, which means it could be a histamine issue. So again, there are many, many issues. But let's get back down to what it very well could be, is that out of all of the fruits that I test for, believe it or not, banana is one of the top fruits that comes back as a food sensitivity from an IgG perspective. That means when you eat it, it can give this 24-hour, essentially, or so later reaction. The only other ones that I see typically high is sometimes cranberries, and sometimes I see pineapple. I shouldn't say pineapple. That's every once in a while, but papaya. So banana, though, is typically the more common one to see. And so, Paige, I would say is you absolutely could be sensitive to it. If you don't mind doing a food sensitivity test right at home, just kind of giving your finger a little poke, putting some blood drops on a card, send it in, you'll get a full spectrum of all the foods you're sensitive to. So you can absolutely do that. Or if you just think it's bananas, what I would do is I would simply cut those out of your diet for a period of 6 weeks and then try to introduce them and see how that goes. So I hope that answers your question, Paige. Great question. Peter F. is up next. Peter is asking, you keep mentioning walking for weight loss, but how would that possibly help me to lose weight? So I know this specific person asking, and that's why this is kind of a fun question for me. He's more of a kind of go type of guy, wants to make sure he's maximizing every minute of his day and also obviously getting the most out of his workouts. So I've kind of helped him work down the ladder from not over-exercising and actually getting better results because of doing that, but still not ready to just do a little bit more walking. So here's the reason why. So walking keeps your body metabolically active. There are some great studies that show when you are seated, you are actually not using or not utilizing glucose and insulin sensitivity to the best of your ability. The other thing is it puts you into a lower metabolic rate when you're seated. And then there's so many other reasons. So one is that's metabolism based. The second is that when you're walking, you're getting your lymphatic system moving. So you're also moving toxins from the cellular level out of the body into the lymphatic system and then out of the body, of course, from there as well. So my big thing is if you're not walking that 10,000 steps per day, that means you literally haven't been on your feet for about 90 minutes or so far that day. That's an hour and a half out of 24 hours. That means you have not been standing. So for me, it's a gauge to make sure that you're not that sedentary. And the second is from health standpoints, it activates that parasympathetic nervous system, which allows for that repair. It allows for that relaxation response. Of course, as long as you're not on your phone and you're not stressed, all of those things, and that you're breathing, but also so many of the wellness-based things that go along with it. But again, if you're not on your feet for that hour and a half a day, I see that as an issue. I see that as a very sedentary lifestyle. And this alone, meaning like not changing anything else in a client's protocol, and just having them get that 10,000 steps per day, every day, 7 days a week, has done wonders with helping to push them past that next plateau in weight loss. So Peter, if you are listening, and I know that you want to make sure that you get this into your protocol each and every day. Thanks for that question. Okay, Cindy is up next. Cindy is asking, sometimes I lose weight when I take a break from working out rather than actually from working out. Why is that? This is a really interesting question, and this is not common, okay? So most people, when they start working out, their body is less metabolically active. And when it's less metabolically active, it burns less calories. It does not have the same overall metabolic total body systemic-based effects, which means everything from thermogenic effect, heating, cooling the body, better glucose utilization, better uptake into the cells, so many different things. I mean, you name it. So, but let's look at this. So typically, again, not exercising, not working out, not being active, you're going to gain weight. Some people are so swung in the other direction that for them to take a break, it actually decreases inflammation. It calms the sympathetic nervous system. It allows cortisol levels to drop. And because of that, it allows for rest and repair of the body, a decrease in inflammation. And just like I was talking about in the last episode, a decrease in inflammation can oftentimes lead to a decrease in toxic water weight. I like to think of inflammation like this. It's a very crude analogy, but I still like to give it anyways. If you get punched in the arm or hit in the leg, it starts to swell, right? You're just looking at part of an inflammatory-based process. A lot of people, and this is why, I give CrossFit a hard time, and I give boot camps, those types of things, a hard time. I'll be talking about them in the show tomorrow as well. But you have to understand that when the body is taking on more than it can deal with, it's going to go through a specific and very straightforward pattern of how it has to deal with that. And how it has to deal with it is oftentimes overwhelming to the body, but it will still try. And that inflammation that results can lead to actually a negated weight loss effect. Because if your body's in the fight or flight response, if your body believes that it's in danger, it's going to have a lot more of a difficult time giving up its precious body fat and its weight, which is meant to keep you alive longer. It will slow metabolism, and of course, inflammation in and of itself, as we spoke about last episode, could make you hold on to 5 to 10 plus extra pounds. So please do keep in mind that if you're someone that's losing weight when they're taking a break, it means that your overall lifestyle, not just your exercise, is too stressful right now. There's too much stress. You need to work on your sleep. You need to work on calming those sympathetic nervous system. You need to get better nutrients in your body. Take a little break from working out. When you do come back, start with every other day and making sure that you're not overdoing it. You do still need to exercise because that will help modulate immune-based response, modulate inflammation, but you cannot overdo it. Your workouts should not exhaust you. They should leave you with more energy than you came in. So I could go on and on about that. That is eventually how I ended up, one of the many things I started to do to recover from severe adrenal-based issues. And so I would say, Cindy, if you're leaning that way, give yourself a break, ease back into it, and make sure you decrease those inflammatory base levels. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today to the Cabral House Call. As a thank you for tuning in today, I wanted to share with you the number one system my private clients in Boston and now all over the United States are using to lose weight, decrease bloating, improve digestion, eliminate skin issues, and increase their energy all day long. It's called the Dr. Cabral Detox, and without going into all the details right now, simply go to drcabraldetox.com and you can find out how my proven, simple 7-day system can help you lose weight and feel great. There's no hype, there's no marketing, and best of all, it's guaranteed or your money back. And as a thank you for being a listener of the Cabral Concept, I'd like to offer you $10 off your next 7, 14, or 21-day Dr. Cabral Detox purchase in the month of March. Simply enter the savings code MARCH10, all in lowercase, one word, when checking out. Thank you again for tuning in, and I look forward to hearing your success story soon.